Did it. I'm here today. I did it. I said I was gonna try this. I said I was gonna try it. I don't give up that easily. Ooh. First off, keyboard? Why were you turned off? I was wondering for a second there. I was like, why would that be doing that? That should not be doing that. Alright. But I said I was gonna try this. This might actually work out for the better. For a couple of reasons. Instead of doing what I was doing before for drawing, this would give me more time for drawing. It would also give me more time for other things. So hopefully we could start doing drawing this way. I'm going to keep animation on this day. I really thought I was going to move animation to Saturdays. I really did. And then I noticed how Saturday was really nice to have that even more extra time, because I think at least with Wednesdays I'm going to be pretty hard locked to still try to get done around 10:30. So I'll still have 3 hours, but I don't want to do 4 hours actually, because I have a lot of work that I have to do after this. But I wanted to try this. I wanted to try Wednesdays and Saturdays now, and let Tuesdays just be an open day. And I've needed it the last two Tuesdays. I'm gonna lie, I didn't even necessarily have the Tuesday yesterday go the way I wanted to for a Tuesday to go, and I've needed those Tuesdays back. So, but looking at it this way, the afternoon streams on Wednesdays and Fridays are going to be if I can do one. I want to make that transparent. Those streams are if I have the mental capacity to do them, the mental and time, like if I need to go do something, if I have a chore or something comes up. I will not be streaming on those days. Afternoon streams are if I can get them in. Like that's what afternoon streams are going to be from now on. Like even Monday is going to be on that too. If I can do a Monday stream, I will. But there's no guarantee that the afternoon streams will happen if I really need that time. And I might need that time here soon actually for something. But I digress. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host Isaac MCCanary, and I need to figure out what the popper gonna do. And I think I know what the popper's gonna do. I just need to make my keyframes now. Like it's a popper. I know what a popper does. So I just need to make those keyframes now. Which might be what I start doing more in the future, is like maybe I even do more of my keyframes than I even have right now. Like before I was doing like a couple keyframes ahead. I might just do the keyframes all the way to the end now. So we'll see. It'll depend on how I'm feeling and depend on what I want to do. But I do think that I have definitely two more keyframes. I have two more keyframes in the next animation, and then one more keyframe, and then the end. I have four keyframes. Technically three, because honestly, the fourth keyframe isn't a keyframe. It's not a keyframe. Um, it's just movement off screen is really all it is. Though that could still be helpful to have a little bit more sectioning, because, but there's at least four. I think there's around four more keyframes left, which is not too bad. And again, like this is giving me a better idea of the kind of like process I want to go through. Maybe next time what I would do different, what I do better, what I do worse. This is how it goes when you're learning how to do something, especially for the first time. You're learning how to do it for the first time. So I'm building a lot of those like really important things that I've always had and always needed to consider more. I've always had the capacity to do this. I just didn't have the discipline mainly. I was a discipline problem kind of person, I feel like, which is bizarre to me to know that maybe that is even more of a thing than I know. I think, sir, what are you doing? You made a camera somehow. I don't even know how you did this. My boy just jumped into my lap and made a camera, and I don't even know how he did that. Do that? How'd you do that? But either way, I'm gonna be working on this now. I am going to do a couple more keyframes. I definitely need to do a couple more keyframes. I didn't mean to do that. Blank keyframe. And sometimes this is something that's always kind of key to remember about animating and animation in general is that, or not animation, animating, when you're making anything in general, sometimes the best way to start learning a program is to start learning what works. Like just what makes a product happen. I think that's incredibly important when understanding how to start like developing your process, because there's a lot of things that go into making anything, I think. And sometimes the best thing that you can do when you're getting started is just to do whatever makes a product happen. So, ahoy! Welcome. Hi, Flippy. And really, like, that's how I've gotten as far into this as I have, honestly. I've gotten pretty far into this project because I know what I know about animation, which isn't a lot, but it is an amount. This is my original character. This is kind of my secondary. I have 3 mascots on this channel. This is my mascot original character, Canary. Then there's me. Hi. Down here. This one's based on what I actually look like. This one is just a female design that I've always really liked, named Canary, who I've named Canary. She's kind of a mascot of the channel that way. And then the third mascot is Hydrate Man. And the only way you're going to meet him is if you decide to bring Hydrate Man here. And he is a mascot for the channel. He's honestly got the most charisma out of anyone or anything I brought into this world. She's just a character that I created a few years ago. Actually, I don't. I if I was to think about it, Canary is. She's not new. She's not old either. She definitely did not appear until after college. I don't think Canary appeared until after college. Canary is a girl. At least I give her she, her pronouns. I decide to. I don't know. You might hear every now and then where I say me, and I go, oops. A complicated human being like every other human being on the planet, except I'm very simple. So don't you worry about that. Don't worry, I'm still simple. The boy is still simple. You're also just weird. I want that there. Yes. This actually. Hold on. We need the other hand. I need to move this out of the way and figure out where the other hand goes. 1 second. We're just gonna sit you over here for a second. No. 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 You never will. Nope. Hmm. Hand. I want a thumb in there somewhere. See, the funny thing is I don't need to do much detail here. There's not going to be much detail to begin with, so, because it's mostly going to be covered. I need that there. I need this here. Then I push this over here. put that about there. Everything. Do something like that. Like this, maybe? Something like this, maybe? Like that, maybe. Listen, that's just not my thing. It's not. So I won't do it. I don't do things that aren't my thing. That's not to say that I don't have a thing. That's not to say that I don't have anything. Just not my thing. And they're not definitely not going to do it here. Listen, we've been playing Valhalla. I haven't quite gotten to streamer Chan levels yet in reality, but you know, that is the future. So that is the future of entertainment. I'm not going to deny. I feel like that is less of a thing now. Actually, I feel like that even that joke aged poorly in that I don't see it as much. Though I'm not saying it's not there at all. I'm not saying that there aren't. I think it's changed a little bit. What's funny is I feel like if that joke were to be revisited in Valhalla, they'd probably be a VTuber. Actually, they'd actually be a VTuber or something, or there would be a joke about how they have like a fake avatar or something. What's funny is Burning Chrome. Burning Chrome is still funningly enough predicted out of anything the existence of VTuber uh 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 why can't I think of what it would be called? VTuber uh VTuber influencers. Burning Chrome actually predicted that as far as uh uh cyberpunk is concerned, I would say. Which is actually quite funny to me. It's very silly to me that it was able to do that. Also, a friendly reminder, remember the rules. Never ask me to do something. I either won't do it, or I'll do it wrong on purpose. Especially if it's something I don't want to do. It is a rule here. It is a rule here. It's a rule here because I feel like it happens a lot more than you would expect. You request something, you're just like, why? I don't even want to do that. It's not what I want to do. If you ask me to do something I want to do, it's the easiest way to get me to do something, even if it's in your benefit. That's a pro tip to get me to do anything, is to make sure that somehow I want to do it. Because if I don't, I just won't. This. Perfect. That's actually exactly where I want her eyes to be. A slight shift in the eyebrows. So that they move. Ooh, I'm feeling very... You know, I can never quite tell, but I do feel like I have gotten to a good place with illustration now that even if I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel like super into it today, I like started doing it and I'm like, actually I feel really good. I feel really, really good about illustrating right now and drawing in general. Like it's not even I'm making myself do it. I just feel like I'm doing well, honestly. And what's funny is I feel like I definitely have my off days as their off days. But I don't know, but there's so little. I know that there's been at least a little bit of motion. Those eyes looking correct? That's the real question. Let's see. Also, I gotta say, don't. Uh, uh, this is a pro tip to anybody on the internet. Don't don't tell anyone something you don't want them to know that would be embarrassing, even as a joke, unless you want people to know it. Just FYI to anyone out there. Don't do that. Like, because um the internet don't one, the internet actually really doesn't care. I don't care. And two, but they will you I will admit I learned after a certain point that half the bullying I ever got was because I did care too much. Like, I did realize that after a certain point. Once I stopped caring, if anything, I had to start caring again, and that was hard and difficult when I realized, oh, hey, the people around me aren't gonna bully me, like, because they disagree with anything that I like. They just are bullying me because they want to have fun, and I accepted that. But I did have a period of my life where I did have to finally learn. I was like, if I'm getting bullied for things I liked, that doesn't matter. But also, um, but but also, uh, like, if I truly like or care about something and don't want to get bullied about it, just genuinely just keep it to yourself, and that's fine. It is a bit of a defense mechanism. I won't lie, but it's still better than being bummed out and constantly bullied. So fair. Until you find people who are chill and vibe with whatever you're into, then yeah, hey queen. Otherwise, the bit of advice I would give, the other genuine bit of advice I would give, would be let that freak flag go. Just know some people if aren't gonna be into your stuff. If anything, just be like, okay, fair. But if you let them bug you, if you let that bother you, you know, like you're just equally as just given that fuel when sometimes the best thing to do is to throw shame in the garbage and say, fuck it. This is too weird for you? That's a you problem. Fair. That said, always respect people's boundaries at the same time. Like, actually, respect boundaries of people. It's usually when when you're in a position where, and I've been in this position plenty of times, where you're into something, but like clearly somebody else isn't. Um, that's fine. Like people have different tastes for anything and everything. Anything. I'm not even talking suggestive stuff though. I want to get into that. I thought about this earlier. I kind of hate the phrase suggestive themes. I would actually rather prefer if they would specify because there's like an insinuation of what suggestive themes are. But I recently saw something that said like, "Oh, suggestive themes, PG," and I was like, "Oh," and then we watched the whole movie, and there was maybe one possible joke that I could think of. There's like no, it's completely innocent. Fucking, they're no, just no. Um, It was K. It was K-pop. It was K-pop Demon Hunters, which is good. I have to admit, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that my friends decided to sit me down and were like, "We're done playing video games today." Probably for the best, honestly. It was a weird day. And then we watched K-pop, and I was like, "Okay, actually, no, this is really, really good." But allegedly in the ESRB, no, that's video games. It's the age rating. In the age rating of K-pop, they were like, they mentioned that part of its rating justification was suggestive themes, and I'm just like, there weren't any. There weren't any. The most suggestive themes are the girls swoon for some hot boys. That's it I can think of. And like the sushi roll scene is supposed to be funny because it's stupid, not even horny. And that's the point. Is like, just say it. Just say it. Stop using the term suggestive themes and fucking stop being cowards and say it. Say if it's horny or not. That's my point. Stop beating around the bush. Suggestive themes doesn't mean nothing. Except it does mean something. And when it's not there, then you're just calling yourself out for being stupid. Just saying. I don't I thought about I started thinking about it and I was like, man, the term suggestive themes kind of suck. Or suggestive content, that description sucks. That's a bad description. When we should at this point genuinely be willing to say if something has sexual content in it. We should. Hey, I'm going to say this from the back. We should be able to admit if a piece of media has sexual content in it and not be porn. Prime example, Fooly Cooly. But I digress. Like, part of the reason why I am the way that I am to overcome a lot of bullying was to really, like, is to pull a 180, I feel like, on a lot of people who are giving me crap about stuff to the point that, well, it just turned out that I ended up swinging that way. I just ended up swinging that way. It's like, you're going to call me gay? What's the worst? Were you afraid of me kissing you? And then I got into that, and I was like, well, fuck, I guess I do. You know what? That's kind of liberating, so fuck it. Maybe the bullies were right. That's their loss. Like, that's my whole thing, is like, I think one of the best ways to respond to a bully genuinely is to be like, and what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna fucking do about it? Like, make an insult seem like not just that it doesn't bother you, but like, yes and them. Yes and a bully, and a true bully won't fucking know what to do about you. They really won't. Because the whole then obviously, like, a bully just wants to bug you. They just want to get under your skin. They just want to see you get all squeamish and embarrassed. That's what any bully really wants. And I think the best way to combat that is to be like, do it, coward. Like, actually, like, even with stuff that's like supposed to be like making fun of stuff like that, like calling them out and being like, no, coward. You gonna say that? Then fucking show that you mean it. Then you end up finding out something about yourself, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I was always this way. Bah. And then even then, it's like, point taken. Now what are you gonna do about it? Turns out you were right. Prove your bully's right. No, don't. No, don't actually take that. Don't actually take that advice. Don't do that. Awful. Terrible. Absolutely awful. Don't listen to anything I say sometimes. I might. Let me see. Hold on. I need to. I need to be there a little. I need there to be a little bit of settling. So I need her to to move ever so slightly. I need her to be like right there, maybe. I just need that texture. I need that texture of her kind of like displacing herself just a little bit to show that even if a lot of the like proportions and everything are about correct, that there was some motion, that there was like very slight motion. That's something that I've really picked up on a lot with my work. Yeah. Like just having things shift around even a little bit, even if the body parts are still about the same shape and size, just helps add a little bit of texture to motion. That's something that I've found. All right, that's one. Then I need frame. Let's have fun with it. Get a little bit of squishy. Get a little bit of squish and stretch in there. So this is going to be squished a little and stretched a little. Out, out, round and around. Hey, Squid! How you been? It's been a busy bee. Usual. No? I hope everything gets better. I feel like the last 3 months have not been very good for anyone. Like, I didn't have a particularly good last 3 months, and anyone that I know didn't have a particularly good last 3 months either. So the last 3 months have not been good. I understand that, at least, that there's been a bad time to just exist right now. Don't know why, but it has felt that way. I understand. But I feel like, weirdly enough, this might be one of the first, knock on wood, might be one of the first Septembers that isn't a fucking hellhole. Because, like, I feel like September is usually a pretty rough time of the year for me. And usually it's the summer that's, like, at least okay. Like, I usually like my summers. But this summer was fucking rough. I'm not gonna lie. This is, it was, it was tough. It was a tough time this September, or this fall. I mean, fair. I won't argue that either. This year in general has been a lot of wild. I think everyone, me personally, in a lot of ways, definitely, but everyone I think is having a hell of a year everywhere. It seems the world is doing fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think how bleh do we want to make that? Do I want to go classic VIs? Do I want to do the carrot eyes? I don't know if I want to do the carrot eyes. Like this doesn't seem like a carrot eyes moment for this character actually. Gotcha. Well, enjoy your lurk, and I hope things get better no matter what. I do. Hope things get better for let's be honest. I hope things get better for everyone because right now things are pretty bad everywhere. But I want to remind everyone that I want to take the stance of reminding everything is bad everywhere and that this place is to be one of the few good places you can be. This place is a place that you can just be. You know? Like, I'm not here to say that the world is doing great right now, but I'm going to be here to do everything in my power. It isn't a lot, but it is a little. To just be a good place for people to. That's really that's what this place is a good place for people to be. Sure, we have our moments of cavalry. That's not the word I want. Where we can be a bit raucous. We can be a bit of a joke and a jape and a shit post. But it is all in good fun and good feeling. Like, people should feel safe here. You should feel safe here. People should feel safe here. It is the goal. I want to. Ah. Oh. Get your fishing back. I will say, other than kind of going a little bit slow because it's been a while. I I feel pretty good about today actually. Actually need to move this back a. I do kind of like the idea that her response to this is just to blink. I need all of this up a little bit more. All of this. Down a little bit. But hey, I'm still here, and this year hasn't killed me yet. Trying. I'm trying. Scrunch her neck in more. Scrunch her neck in a little bit more. Scrunching necks, get me that hydration. I didn't drink any water. Filled myself with agua. I'm gonna try to give a little bit of a kick. That. Little bit of a kick. Kick. Again, just to like show that there was some motion. That's the goal, is to show that there was some motion. And then and we go around. Ah, man, I need to look into. Hello? I need to look into replacing a couple things. One of them being my microphone. My microphone, I think, is just old. If I'm quite honest, I think my microphone is just getting old. So if I seem to be cutting out a little bit, I think my microphone is just worn. It's old. This is the microphone I've been using since I started streaming, I think. Maybe I had Turtle Beaches before this? I don't know if I was streaming when I still had those Turtle Beaches, though, or not. But this is the same snowball I've been using for as far as I know, or as long as I know. I got this back in 2016, when I think about it. This guy old as shit. So, I'm definitely due for, if not an upgrade, a replacement. He's just getting worn out, I think. So, like, it's not the best at being able to do area mic things anymore. Kind of makes sense. Kinda. I hate it, but it does kind of make sense. The reason why I bring that up is I notice every now and then, especially when I'm like doing art, especially if I'm doing art because my microphone is like above me. Because my microphone is above me, I have to like kind of talk a little bit more projected. So if I ever get a little bit quiet or anything, it seems to like have a difficult time picking me up. It's like, yeah. Nice. Good job, Squid. I mean, this is a pretty funny face. I'm either gonna do something like this. Try this first. Let me try something like this first. I mean, it looks silly. I love the little squishy cheeks actually. That's very good. Good job. Hey, ain't that just the way? I mean, I still gotta do. I did some Helldivers earlier, but I will probably do. If not today, I'll try to find some time to get the rest of those goddamn credits because I do want to get that. I want to get that new stuff, and then there's more new stuff coming already next week apparently. Soon. Go down, Helldivers. I can't keep up with your shit sometimes. I guess it could be the opposite. It could be Monster Hunter. I love that game, but it does feel like the last couple Monster Hunters came out a little bit half baked. But like in a way that I'm like, I get it. I can see how people. My thing is I can see how people are like, this sucks, and I'm like, I agree. I'm just kind of actually that much of a diehard fan that it's like I'm gonna play it anyways and enjoy it until they have more stuff. But it definitely feels a little bit undercooked. And I can't deny that. I can't deny it is the problem. I would say it's and I love what they've played, what I've played of Wilds. I think Wilds is a fantastic game in the series, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than World, and I played the fuck out of World until I got sick of it. So I would say like I do like it compared to World, probably more so at the moment. But I can at least understand being like, it feels like they didn't finish it. Kind of. I kind of see that. Oh shit. Maybe move the hair down. Move everything down. This is a little tall. Yeah. I need to move it down a little bit. Oops. That works. I don't know what that's gonna do actually. I think that should work. Down a little bit. About there. Perfect. I just need to clean up all the artifacts. I will say this is the one benefit of digital animation that I'm like, woo! Glad I don't have to do this by fucking hand. Grab things and move them. It's very nice. I could not imagine at this point doing hand animation without some digital tooling. Like I just don't. I do think that it is for the best that things like animation move to full digital no matter what. Not to say, hey, I want to clarify. That's not to say that there can't be artistry in the challenge of drawing something completely by hand. That is not something I would ever advocate against. I'm not saying we can't have artistry in the form of analog processes. I think those should always exist. I think the like decentral detect version of like doing things will always have a market for the novelty and the genuine artistry and craft that goes into making something like that because it's not easy. It's harder. It is harder to do and it's harder for a reason, and that does at least say something to its value as a piece of media or product or whatever, that it takes a little bit more elbow grease to do than if you just used all of the modern tech all the time. Said, it is nice when you can have a better opening point, a better introduction point for a lot of people wanting to get into a lot of fields that they can actually start utilizing and engaging with because they don't need to hammer a fucking block for 300 hours before they figure out the perfect technique on how to hammer a block. I think that's a good thing. Take the whole thing. Okay. A little bit of recoil. It works. Yeah, that's it. It just makes it more accessible and it's a different kind of skill set. It doesn't always make it easier, but it does increase accessibility and it does give better ways to be able to punch up. Like it allows people to punch up, but it doesn't mean that it's worse quality, that it's not any more difficult to do, that it doesn't take skill, it doesn't require a lot of time investment. It just means that people are more accessible to it, and that's it. Mech and Zeta have not. However, Squid, come Saturday, actually, I will reveal the system we will be playing in this October. If everything goes as planned in my life, we will be playing. I will be running a. I am going to be running a test live play. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a test live play. We are going to run probably about one arc of the game, see how it goes. And it will just be one arc. Like, I'm gonna run one arc of the game, see how it goes, if people want to keep playing, if people want to keep watching, etc., etc. And we'll see where we go from there. But I want to run one arc for October that is a survival sci-fi horror based on some of my favorite survival sci-fi horror, psychological horror, stuff like that, that we're going to run that was based on a setting that I designed for a different system back in 2017. I'm really excited about that. Mechton Zeta is basically Mobile Suit Gundam, the tabletop game from '95. Interesting. Honestly, the one that I want to try is Freelancer. We tried Battletech. I like Battletech, but it doesn't gel with all of my friends, and I actually kind of agree with the things that don't gel with. Like, I'm like, this is... I like the idea behind it. I like a lot of things about Battletech. Battletech is still a little too crunchy. Like, it's still a little bit too crunchy for our taste. Like, actually, Jackson and I really enjoyed it. And I think Sean thought it was okay. It just wasn't his speed, because I do like a lot of the technical crunch in Battletech, and the thing I'll actually grant Battletech that I do like aesthetically that it does, even if it gets a little bit in the weeds sometimes, is that that game feels like a milsim. There is no game that I have ever played. There is no game that no tabletop system that I have played that has felt more like a milsim than Battletech has. So I will grant it that. It was doing what I wanted out of it. That said, Freelancer sounds like a lot of fun. So. Uh-huh. I mean, I love Team Aces and I love Ace Combat. I will give them one criticism. Team Aces gets one criticism. They want to be a mecha anime so badly. That's not a bad thing, though. That said, if you haven't seen Skycrawlers, you should watch Skycrawlers, because Skycrawlers is essentially Team Aces getting to meet their hero and work with them. Because two things that you should watch. If you like Ace Combat, you should watch Patlabor 2 specifically, but Patlabor 1 as well. Patlabor 1 is a very fun movie, and then Patlabor 2 is an Ace Combat game. Patlabor 2 is an Ace Combat game before Ace Combat. Like, there is so much Patlabor 2 specifically in the DNA of a lot of the writing in Ace Combat. It's not bad. They don't steal it. They're not like ripping it off, but you can just, having finally seen that movie, you can just smell how much Patlabor 2 specifically is in Ace Combat 4, Ace Combat 3, Ace Combat 5, Ace Combat 0. They love Patlabor and they love that writer. They love that director. I need to find his name because he's now become one of my favorite animation directors. Because he also did Jinro. He did Ghost. He did Ghost in the Shell. He did Patlabor 1, Patlabor 2, Skycrawl, and then Skycrawlers. But Skycrawlers was actually in direct cooperation with Team Aces, which is why I go, it's like finally getting to work with your favorite writer of all time, right? Like that's the vibe I get from Skycrawlers. Is Team Aces like, fuck, we get to work with the guy. Yes. that's the vibe I get from Skycrawlers, and it is very good. I highly recommend Skycrawlers. It is very, very, very good. You like Ace Combat 3 and Team Aces and this guy that I need to look up his name really fast. Patlabor 2 director. Mamoru Orochi. Mamoru Oshii. You need to look up Oshii. Oshii's great. He is. He genuinely is. He's like probably one of my favorite directors now of all time. Like he is fantastic. I think his name should be known. Like I should memorize his name. It's that important to me. He is incredibly influential on me. Probably because of his combat, but yes. Let's see. Yes. He worked on Angel's Egg, Patlabor 2, Ghost in the Shell, Skycrawlers. Those were the big ones, actually. He also worked on something called Urusei Yatsura, Only You, as well as a sequel, Beautiful Dreamer. Something called Talking Head that I think I looked at, and I was like, that's weird. Something called Avalon. The last thing he was working on was a project he was working on 2019 that seems to have not been finished. So I hope he's still working on it, called Blood Friends. Don't know what that is. I've never heard of it before. I don't know what it is, so. I mean, he's got range. This is the big thing to remember. He's got, oh yeah, that. Yeah, oh yeah, that one. It's just a comedy show. Oh yeah, it's just a comedy show. But he's got range, and if you like Ace Combat, check out pretty much check out both the Patlabor movies and Skycrawlers. They're great. They're fucking great. Ah, gotcha. I like noticed I recognized the art style. It looked very Rama. I don't know anything about Rama personally, other than the things you know about Rama. I've never seen it, but I do know what Rama is. So Ranma. But absolutely, Patlabor 2 has become one of my favorite movies. Like he those are his directed. I think he also wrote for Jinro Wolf Brigade, and he's just done a lot. He's done a lot of different things. Like he's got a lot of good work under him. He's genuinely fantastic. Probably one of the main inspirations for me to do any animation is this very, very saggy looking man. He does look very saggy, and that's not an insult, that's just what his face looks like. It's very saggy. I'm just saying, you can definitely make fun of my face. My face, I got a weird face. What? Boy is back. He wants my lap. Why do you want to get my lap so badly when I'm drawing? It's always when I have the laptop in my lap, you're like, oh no, there's something in your lap. I need to be there now. The guy's girlfriend promises to marry him if he saves the Earth. When he does so, he starts bragging he's getting married, and the overworld's daughter agrees to marry him. Ah. Huh. There you go. I mean, that was like the first thing that he ever worked on. Like, that was the first thing he ever worked on. Like, I don't think that is his indicative pieces of media, right? Famous for his philosophy-oriented storytelling. Yeah. Angel's Egg is also very good, but I think that's probably his most esoteric work. Like, if you don't like Angel's Egg, I don't blame you. Angel's Egg is either really good or really pretentious. There's no in between as far as I know. Sometimes Just how it goes. Sometimes that's how it goes. I want to work on that. Yeah, I do. Just do what works. Just do what works. Do this for the fun of it. There we go. And I have to remember if it comes out from that, we're all gonna have to originate from there somehow. They're all gonna have to originate from that somehow, so. Simple is best, though. And I mean, sometimes it depends, and you know what? As somebody who's like, I don't like never enders, how can you do a never ender? You know what? Sometimes you just do something for 8 fucking years. Sometimes that's how it goes. Want to remind everyone. Actually, it'd be almost 9 now, wouldn't it? I still can't believe 2016. 2016? It was really early stuff that I was doing, but 2016, and even before 2016, I was making things. I started making things in college, and then I continued making things when I got out of college. I just didn't stop. Now here I am. 9 freaking years later. Still going. Goes to show, just keep doing your thing. Just keep doing your thing no matter what. Always remember that. Just gonna put a billion dots for confetti. Now I have to take the whole thing. I like this face. I like this face that she's making, actually. I want... Or... Or... Trying to decide how... Something like that. Yeah, I like that. I want to do the rest this way. Welcome back with yogurt. Welcome back with yogurt. Bring some for the class. I would never be that kind of person, or would I? You know, if I was a teacher, I'm just like, if I wanted to make fun of one trope, I'd be like, did you bring enough for the class? You didn't. Give it to me. And then I just eat it in front of the kid. Oh my god, how fucking rude. Just be like, you didn't bring enough, huh? Well, guess it's just gonna be mine now. And then I just eat it in front of them. Nah, I wouldn't be that mean unless the kid was really being a shithead about it or something. I don't think that's the thing is if I was actually a teacher, I think I would be like a really I would try to be a really nice teacher, you know. Um, I don't think I could be mean to kids. Now if the kids were a bunch of turds, that's a different story. I cannot. I will admit it like goes both ways. I think that I liked a lot of the teachers that I grew up with, and a lot of the teachers I grew up with were some of like the only people I like enjoyed interacting with because in all honesty, I can't imagine dealing with kids of any age and having to like teach them things when so many of them do not want to be there, like even a little bit. Like I had my misgivings about school, but I did actually like being at school for the school part. I did. I genuinely did. I know a lot of kids don't, and that's not even a diss. Like, school is not for everyone, quite genuinely. I had to teach myself multiple times how to be better about learning. I like learning, and I think a lot of kids like learning. A lot of kids don't. Or you really have to. There are a few things that a lot of kids care about, which is totally fair. Like, there are things I didn't care about as a kid, and I liked learning. Um, so natural habitat shorts or bat trick does what with gum. And I honestly will say, like, I do not know what, like, that kind of experience would be like for me, but I could imagine. Yeah. I honestly, at least, like, definitely, like, if I was in middle school, I think I'd be like, nope, you couldn't, you'd have you'd have to pay me a lot more than what teachers actually get usually paid to fucking teach middle school, because middle school is bad for everyone, I think. Like, even the teachers, I'm just like, I don't know if I just, you're dealing with the shittiest of the shit when it comes to kids in middle school. Like, middle school is the worst. It's a seagull short. I don't know what that is. I just don't know what that is. Sorry. Unfortunately, I don't know everything. I don't know everything, and I don't look everything up. That's one thing to remember. Always remember. If I don't know something, I just don't. That's something I kind of want to be more vocal about. Is like, I want to find a good middle ground, middle point to be like, hey, if we're talking about something, I might know it. If I don't, I just don't. That's fine. I mainly bring that up because it is a bit of a tough spot. I think that I get put in a little bit because I talk a lot. I do talk a lot. Like, I talk during the streams a lot. And like, I do have a deep seated interest in discussing a lot of different things, but I don't know everything. And sometimes the things that people want to discuss actually have nothing to do with the thing that I'm discussing, which is always weird. I don't know how to sometimes broach that, and maybe I need to be a little bit more vocal to be like, on topic, because I might not be talking. I might not necessarily be talking about the thing that people think that I'm talking about sometimes. So, gotcha. I will say I have not even used ChatGPT. I will never use Grok for a myriad of reasons that even go beyond its association with Twitter. I won't use Grok because I hate that fucking word. The day I learned about the word grok and I tried to read that book, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of that book. I will never be a fan of that book. Like that book, I'm glad. I don't. That book fucking sucks. I do not like Stranger from a Strange Land. And that's coming from the guy who loves Starship Troopers. I genuinely like Starship Troopers. Still, I think it's great. I think it's a really good piece of science fiction. I do not like his other book. Yeah, I know he's written more than two books, but he's made one that I really like and one that I really do not. And then the fact that they named it fucking Grok, I'm just like, ugh, yuck. It hurts my mouth now. I've been just working on I've been doing it the old fashioned style though. I've been researching a lot. I've been researching a lot of science fiction. I've been researching a lot of science fiction horror. I've rewatched Alien, Aliens, Tremors. Tremors is in there not because of the science fiction, but because of the horror slash horror comedy, horror thriller or comedy thriller that Tremors is will play into that because I want people to still have fun with it, and if they want to make jokes, they should make jokes. They should make characters who would be willing to make jokes. Um, this is a live play, so I don't want it to just be a fucking sad time. If we do cover sad topics, great, but I'm not gonna make it a sad thing right off the bat. I want it to at least be fun too. I don't think I would go hardcore horror comedy, but yes, I want people to be able to feel like they could make jokes as well as have characters that would make jokes. And knowing my friends, like, yeah, we would like it, we could be in the most serious situation, we'd still be cracking dumb things. And I really want that to be like an element. I still want there to be like an element of humor, so that way it really humanizes the characters. Because that's something I think Tremors does from a comedy standpoint, and Alien does from a character standpoint. Is they make very humanistic characters who just are people living in that world. They're just people who live in that world. So same with the Thing. The Thing is very similar, actually. More of a sad story, except the sad parts are what you find the most memorable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Except also the blonde kid is good. Sorry, wrong game, and I don't give a shit about her. Sorry, wrong game, and the blind kid in that game fucking sucks. Sorry, Lily, you go into the garbage where you belong, cause she belongs in the garbage. Bad person. You'll never convince me that Lily's not a bad person. She's terrible. She is. At me. You're being very opinionated today, I guess. I don't know why. But yeah, no, I've even like yes, I am. Sorry, I like Rin. This shouldn't surprise anyone. Anyways, uh uh I try to avoid using AI now almost at all. The only thing I actually use any kind of generative AI for is for one thing. I use it for one thing now. I use it to generate gradients for backgrounds. And that's it. That's all. Don't use it to make pictures anymore. I don't even use it for the ending bit anymore. I don't use it for anything. Because honestly, people need to still use your brains. Like you do. Like you still need to engage with ideas. And I need to do that for myself. I need to do that for myself. Like, I don't even want things like poop out a prompt for me, because that is a little bit, it just, it's concerning. It really does. It really makes me concerned about no longer having to go out of your way to find the things that are going to inspire you, are going to resonate with you, to find something to start creating, and instead you can just go from something that was made for you and then add your own ideas to it, instead of having to really engage and process and figure out what you like about something. At least I do. That's me. Like, I get nervous about that kind of stuff. Like, it might make me antiquated, I won't lie, but at the same time, we literally had somebody come in that actually said that they were a fucking AI stan and I should be looking for a different I should probably be looking at a different job. And it's like, cool. Like, people still should be allowed to make things. Like, that is why I'm kind of taking a hard no on this, is like, people think that you shouldn't do it that way anymore. You shouldn't try to. You shouldn't try to use inspirations or media literacy anymore. You should just have it generated for you. Have a computer generate it for you. I'm like starting to get a little skeezed out by that. It's like just concerning. It's just scary. that's becoming a norm that people think should be the main way to do things, and you shouldn't do it any other way. That's why. Like, you want to do it that way? Sure, fair. Like, yeah. But people are going too far. People are going too far with it, and that's where it's becoming a concern with me and a lot of artists. Is there is a vocal push that you shouldn't do it any other way. If you are, you're doing it wrong now. It's like, what the fuck? Perfect. That's a fun pop. Yeah, that's a fun face. I like that face. I think it. 'Cause I want her to be disinterested. That's like the whole joke here is that she's not interested in doing this. She doesn't want to do this. It's not worth her time. It's not worth my time. You've seen a lot of people be so anti-AI that they actually bully people who weren't even using it. Yeah, that's also still a problem. It goes both ways. That's why I want to say I definitely feel that it goes both ways. Like, I'm not here to say that you can't use it or utilize a tool to utilize it. Like, if it does help, that's fine. I think there needs to be a middle ground where people need to understand that technology is changing and it's something that we definitely all have to adapt to. There are always both sides, though. Like, you can't just throw everything into the garbage. Like, even traditional things that don't need to be done anymore are still done traditionally for cultural sake. Like, I still think that there's a value in. That's why I said, hey, look, example. I'm doing this by digital. I don't think I could ever fucking do this myself by hand with a piece of paper. But if for some reason it just attacked me to do it for the challenge of it, for the artistry of it, damn right, you fucking. I should. Anyone should. Anyone should do that. But I'm not going to, not right now. But that doesn't mean I don't see the value in doing physical medium or doing antiquated ways or doing things that don't utilize the freshest new technology. It is. It is. But I think the concern is that people are both sides again. Like, I agree. Like, people are taking it too far, but also people are scared. People are scared that they're going to get replaced by shovelware, that creativity is not going to be a factor anymore because creativity has been calculated somehow. Like, it's been calculated somehow. Which I don't agree with. Obviously, you're always going to have creatives doing creative things. So having a computer try to mimic creativity is always going to be like a hot button topic. But still, like, that is the concern. That's the debate. And that's why it's at least gray debate. I would say it's a gray debate. And that's why I'm like, I'm neither for nor against it, because at its worst, it is a problem. But it is something that exists that we're having to deal with. So I don't agree with that. I don't think that's an okay thing, because I'll put it this way, I've never been given a chance. And a lot of people haven't been given a chance now. Because of quote unquote the times a changing. That's not okay. People need to be able to live. And if we're going to be able to have these things, what's the point if it's just going to remove the one thing that people said it was going to do, which was allow people to have more time to be creative, when it's not? Or at least it doesn't seem to be being used that way and is being abused to try to replace people. That's the point. That's the part. That's the side that I do agree with, that I'm also scared of. Because I finally have found my, like, what I want to do. And already people are like, sorry. I think we should at least be allowed to fight back. I think people should at least be able to be like, no, that's fucked up. I'm kind of on that camp too. I do agree. Like, no, that's fucked up. Mm-mm. So that's all. That's all I want to say about that. Like, I don't want to. It's a tough topic because clearly it's the debate problem of that, and like of that kind of exact thing of being like, oh well, I don't know. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it, and I don't think that's good because that it it is a worrisome thing. Yeah, I don't think it will either. Ultimately, it just is concerning how many people think it will ultimately. I think it'll just be another form. I think it'll be another form. Like, we have a lot of problems right now going on in the world, I won't lie. So, I mean, it's it's a symptom of a couple of different things, but like, we're ironically at a very weird point in history in which everyone wants everything to be cheaper, but nothing is getting cheaper. It's a real problem right now. I want to just vocalize that as my hill that I guess I'm gonna die on. Is people want everybody wants things to be cheaper, but no one and nothing is being done to make things cheaper. Hot take. Maybe that's not a hot take, but I do feel that way. I do think that is a problem. I think it's a problem, and I think it's a problem that I think a lot of people are aware of. Hmm. I don't know how to fucking solve it. I don't know how to fix that problem. I'm not an economist. Probably never would make a good one. Yeah. And I think I'm only so vocal about this because after a certain point too, I'm just like, screw it. I can't let these opinions be something that I at least can't be vocal about. Everybody's gonna have an opinion about it. There's no point. Even if I don't respect my own opinion, people are gonna care. If anything, I want it to be like, hey, I think my point that I'm going for is like I'm still trying. I want to at least be like the attempt at like, hey, that's the way it's gonna be. That's the way it's gonna be. I'm still trying. And I would encourage people to support, if not me, somebody. Like, support somebody who's making something, doing something. Show them any support you can. Like, support people who make things. Just that's it. Like, support anyone who makes anything. Puts a lot of effort and work into what they do and what they care about. Ultimately. Ultimate. Support your artists. They are hungry. They're still people. People deserve to live. Live and express themselves however they feel. Obviously safely. I'm not saying suddenly go depraved and everything. I just mean, like, people should not ever feel like the thing that they want to do, the thing that completes them as a person, the thing that makes their brain actually work, and like they feel fulfilled and valued and productive. Anyone should actually be able to do that for them, especially, not just for somebody else. Like, if you find something that you can do, that you do really well, that makes you actually feel like you can accomplish something, and then something comes along and threatens to be like, I could just do that for, I could do the same thing. It might not be the same quality, but I could just do it. Instead, they can, and it would be cheaper. I've really, really grown very wary and exhausted and yucked out about this idea that, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um, People are a number. It's just gross. That it's a gross thing. It's a gross thing that I feel like I'm faced with a lot. A lot, a lot. I don't like that. I don't like that. Because the thing that really makes it feel gross to me is, in my experience, it does not matter. Does not matter what you do. It's yucky. It's yucky. Don't like it. And I want to be able to be vocal about that. I think I should be. I think anybody would be if they were in my position. That's why I feel like I probably have a pretty strong reaction to that, is because this assumption that it will always, finding the best value number is the best thing to do, and Good night, Squid. Have a good night. Take it easy. Color your eyebrow. See? Yep. I don't know if I want to get her to cross her arms again. If I did, I think I would just replay this animation. Hold on, I have an arms crossing animation. Nah, that's too much. I don't want to make her cross her arms again. It's too much. It's one, too much work. Two, just... I already did the arm crossing. I don't need to do it twice. Maybe I just make her shrug. Maybe I just make her shrug. Then how far in are we is the question. I think based on the way she would turn around that way. Yeah, so like this shoulder would swing. She also wouldn't turn around in place. The pivot point is actually here. Or more like here. But like this is the point of pivot, and she would pivot around this way. So like this shoulder should swing, but this shoulder should swing that way. Like this is actually the axis of pivot that I want to go for if I'm wanting to turn her around. Something like that. Give him the old classic anime profile head bob. Head him a bob. Maybe this is something I need to be careful about. I get it. I actually will admit this. I probably am bad about. No, I am. I will admit this. I am bad about this. I start talking about something and then I start talking about stuff. And I'm like, well, I'll say what's on my mind. And that's the problem, right? Like I think that there is still a little bit of me that just wants to be able to just like talk about something, maybe have input every now and then, but always remember it's a bit both ways, but also it is a bit both ways. And maybe I need to be more willing to be like, eh, eh. This is the thing. This is the thing. I think that at least I'm at, right? Like it's like I can only respond with what I know to respond with. Always remember that, anyone out there. If I respond poorly to something said, I'm still just a person. You know? Like, and the way that I am, it's not like brutal honesty. It's just my response. It's just like, oh, that's the way that makes me feel. That's it. It's not even personal. I need to remember that. Like, I need to remember that. Like if somebody says something and then I respond in a certain way, it's like, I don't know. That's how my brain works, and everybody's brain works different. And that's my impression of that thing. This is what I like. This is what I hate. Like I don't even share the same exact opinions of all my friends. I have my own hot takes and things, and they have their own beliefs and things about the way that certain things should be. So, like, I guess always remember that, because I need to remember that, of like, I'll try. I'll always try to respond to something, but I can't guarantee that I will say something that everyone's gonna like. But not in the like, but I can say whatever I want kind of way. Like, no, actually, I do want to try to say things that it's like, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about how to say it. Like it's a thing that I do not say half necessarily half cocked, and I do try to think about the things that I say when I say them. I do genuinely try. Doesn't always seem that way, but I do, I promise. And I think I bring that up just because I think I've done that a couple times. I think somebody has like come in or joined and then kind of felt like it got a little argumentative or something. Maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I feel like it did in the sense of like I didn't necessarily mean to. I don't even necessarily mean to be like an argumentative person. I think there is a part of me. I like I've mentioned this before, actually fairly recently to somebody. Is like I want to be able to like just talk about things in a very like I want to say objective. It's not objective, but it's also not subjective. Because it comes from a place of like, okay, I want to look up like I know an example. Dinosaur. Dinosaur game. Dinosaur game, I want to take that time to be able to talk about dinosaurs. I want to talk about dinosaurs because I have an interest in dinosaurs. Because I have an interest in studying dinosaurs still. Even all these years later, I do still genuinely have an interest in studying dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. I think they're cool. I want to talk about them and I want to share what I learn about them and I want it to be about learning and sharing together from its perspective of me facilitating learning, facilitating sharing and facilitating learning about something. That's the big thing. Is like it's about what we're talking about, what I'm talking about, but not because people don't have their own ideas or opinions, just I'm just talking about something. I want to talk about something. I feel like sometimes people join and they don't know how to add, and I'm like, and they'll try, and then it'll seem like I ignore or do whatever, and it's like it goes both ways. It goes both ways. You know, I can only talk about so much, and I can only talk. Want me to talk about anything? The best way to get me to talk about something is to tell me about something I really care about. I'm sorry. Because there's a lot of things I just don't. But there's also a lot of things that I care about that a lot of people don't. That's fine. Actually, I do think it's fine. And I think it gets awkward for me sometimes where it's like I get it. Everybody cares about different things. Everybody like different things. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I want to go with something like this. I don't think it's gonna be what I want, but I'm gonna go with it for now. Funny is I still think this is correct-ish. I need this to be a little bit short. Down a little bit more. Be more this way. Even rotate it a little bit. Yeah, like that. Trying to think about the profile of her head. That's what I forgot. That's what I was forgetting. I will say one of the things that maybe it's just me. Maybe it is just me. Maybe I'm bad about this. Maybe I need to be better about it. Like is and if I do, that's fair. That's a me. That's a me problem. I'll try to be better about it. I feel like sometimes the only things that people can think to talk about is like something that they're doing. It's like sure, fair starting point. Where are you gonna start? What do I want to talk about? Here's something I've been doing. Okay, fair enough. I think part of it is, and I've flip side the thing that I could offer that has helped me inversely is I do not try. I like to try to always focus on what is happening on screen. Try to always keep like whatever the discussion is about or whatever something is about, or if you want to like add a discussion to something, keep it topical to what's being talked about or what's on screen. I think that's the best. That's the best advice I could give because that's what I think anybody could want. Because ideally speaking, that is at least from my perspective, and that's why I like do it. Is you know do what you preach, I guess. Um, colors are fucking weird. Hey, can I just say that colors are weird? I don't know how to do a profile color right now. It's killing me. And I think of how to do a collared shirt from the side. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, okay. No, that isn't what I thought. It would be like that. And the collar. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, you're good. I'm good. Interesting. Didn't know it was that aggressive. I didn't realize the collar was that aggressive. Yeah, just that simple. Sometimes that's what it takes. You just gotta try something until it fits. Like that. And mainly I just want her to turn. Like I just want her to rotate. I want this to be a rotation of this shoulder should end up swinging around. It's only over. Oh no, we're good. I want this shoulder to swing around to here. Like I want it to be a swinging motion. You might need to move a little bit more. A bit more to the left. A bit more. Keyframes are fun. And this will be all the way to the end. This is the thing to remember, is this will be all the way to the end. So, like, it'll be this frame, and then it'll go all the way to her off screen. Like, this will just be straight ahead. This will be just straight ahead, her going left until she's off screen. Like, that's it. I thought about maybe adding, like, a shrug. Yeah, I might add, like, a shrug in this, like, this last one, before she turns and leaves. 4! I called it! 4 keyframes! I said it was going to be 4 keyframes. It was 4 keyframes. It genuinely was. I didn't think I was going to call it that well. Now, if you're wondering why this took 2 hours, because it was just... I will admit that. That's my bad. I took a little bit longer, because I was talking. Happens. Happens to the best of us. Make this a little bit bigger. She looks so displeased, and that's exactly the vibe I'm going for. Is how fucking displeased she looks. Good. I should position this more like right here. Yeah. And this is something that I've personally like. I like that I can just kind of move things around pretty simply. And then she just walks off screen. I don't know what to... There. I'll add a little bit of character. Who knows? So I don't know. Giving her a little... a little pouty cheek is funny. Being like, you know... You worked on this for 6 months to do this. Why'd you work so long on this? That's really the vibe I want to take away from this. Is she's like, why'd you work so long on this? Because it would be funny. The best part is this looks like it is going to be 20 seconds. It'll be about a 20-second animation, I would say. Maybe under. I don't think this is going to be like a 30-second animation. This is like a 20-second animation. 6 months for 20 seconds. To be fair, I've really decided to hurt myself, so like the main things I need to continue to fix. I need to continue fixing this sequence. I think it was the part that I got messed up the most, unfortunately. But we've got this, and then it'll go through to the pop. Then she'll do one more action, maybe like a shrug or something. I think I'll make her just shrug. Be like, eh. Just eh. And then she'll just walk off screen. Alright, time to do tweens. My favorite part. Time to do tweens. Yeah. Oh, no. That's not how we do tweens. What a wonderful middle finger. What a wonderful middle finger I've made. It's very funny. It's a funny middle finger. I've really enjoyed drawing this middle finger. Oh, that's gonna be the VOD title because I'm a cretin. I'm still a creature. I can't help it. Favorite pastime. Frame over and over again. This is why we do keyframes the way that we do. This is why we do the keyframes the way that we do. Henry has gotten out of my bed, I heard him. Anytime I go into my room and Henry's just there, it's very funny. Because it's like he understands that on some level he's like, I shouldn't be here, but you, he the bed that he gets in is the bed wasn't always my bed. But the only reason why he kind of feels that way is I'm kind of like, you're not supposed to be in there because I get worried that if he goes into my bed too often, my cat is going to get mad about it. I don't want that to happen either because I know what happens when my cat gets mad at anything right now, and I really, really, really dislike it, but there's not much I could do about it at the moment. The last thing I need is him causing problems. I sleep there. The cat's just territorial, honestly. The cat's just a territorial turd, as some cats are to be. There we go. On one hand, it's been a lot of fun working on this animation. On the other, God, I cannot wait to be done with this fucking animation. I still need to color it, but I do think coloring will go faster. I hope coloring goes faster. I have some ideas on ways to make coloring go faster, that's for damn sure. They better fucking work. Nice. But I will say, once again, like I've said many times, if you want something that will get you a lot of repetition in practice for trying to draw something, animation. Who knows? The worst that happens is you end up enjoying it. Who knows? Maybe you'll enjoy it. I think I want to go till about here. Yeah, not that. All right. Nope, that's not what I. There we go. Just kind of. I could shake it if I want to, but nah. Simple is best. Simple is best. Just keep it the same. There we go. And obviously, this will be very disjointed for a while, but I do think that this is the best course of action. It's either that or I put those on their own layer until they're ready to become active frames, because right now they're just there for placeholder. So that way they get to the action that they need to get to. And I know where the action is going to go now. Hence the importance of keyframes. I think that's why it's so important to split it between drawing ahead and getting keyframes in there. Keyframes give you your reference points to know where you want action to get to. And then you just draw like you're drawing a line between 2 points. You're drawing actions between 2 points. And this. Oops. I want to go till about east. Probably closer to 10:30, so we'll go for a while yet. We'll go for a while yet. There we go. I do think I need to rewatch Angel's Egg as well. It's been a while. It's good. It's weird, but it's good. I like how weird it is. Like anything that does unconventional storytelling, so. Oh yeah. These are some steady hands. Nice. I didn't always used to have steady hands when I was drawing. I used to have actually really bad shaky hands for a long time. I could never do a straight line to save my life. Some days I still can't, but it was so bad that there was a point where I swore off certain kinds of illustration just simply because it demanded too much inorganic motion. And I was like, I don't know, I don't draw straight lines very well, so I didn't want to draw them. Just didn't want to draw them. I was like, I can't draw a straight line. How am I going to draw a straight line? And then I've learned I know how to draw straight lines. Wow. Silos doesn't even want to watch me stream anymore. Hi, Silos. Silos, the toilet guy came back. He keeps asking. I keep saying no. It's very weird. Yeah. What's funny is at this point, I just think it's... he keeps coming back and he keeps asking the same questions. And I'm like... Maybe he'll learn. Oh. Sorry, bud. Sorry, bud. Not our thing. Squid was here too. We're talking about AI, which I think I'm at a weird spot with talking about it just because a weird spot about talking about anything. I get it. I get it. I'm on the internet. Everybody is going to impart their own opinion and knowledge. But as I kind of said earlier, and as I've kind of said to a friend, I will admit I'm still working on getting to that point. Maybe I just have to get to a point that I'm like, I'm gonna talk about this and screw it. I'm gonna talk about it this way, and if it's not on topic, I'll probably just start ignoring things because it's like I get it, but also actually nobody is required to respond to anything ever. Uh, the reason why I bring that up is I like describe it as like how do you like get to the Z Frank level where you just enjoy hearing somebody talk about something they care about. How do you get that? That's a hot take. That's what I want to do. I just want people to enjoy listening to me ramble about stuff genuinely. don't have to even. Maybe you do. Yeah, maybe you have to agree a little bit. Maybe you have to agree enough to enjoy that. But that's the point. Like, I don't know. I wanna be able to just talk about things, and it's still enough there. That's the problem. Is the problem is not that I'm new to the internet or anything. That's not the problem at all. It's just like it's just enough there that I'm like, come on, guys. I've been here for long enough. At this point, if you don't want to hear me, if you don't, if you don't want to engage with what I'm talking about, that's fine. I don't know what to tell you though. I'm gonna talk about whatever the fuck I want. It's weird. I don't know how to get to that point. Like the comparison made is like, how do you? I watch Z Frank to hear a weirdo make silly comments about animals because he's passionate about it. It's like, well, I wish people. I wish I felt that way about people. Sometimes I don't. I do think you're there. I do think there are people out there who do that for me. A lot of people don't. It's so awkward and weird. I'm just like, I don't know what you want. It's weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's a thing that's on my mind every now and then. It's like, what do I do about that? I don't know. If you want to, if that's something you don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, Silos, I don't blame you. It's a weird thing. It's a bit of an existential dread that I have. It's just like I don't want to be the talking force on anything, but I do want to be a talking force. I do want to be like at least like recognized as somebody who talks about things meaningfully. Even if sometimes it's a bit silly and stupid, it's still meaningful. At least I try to be. Go ahead and we're going to copy these frames. I'm going to try something actually. By copying all of these frames. We're going to copy these frames. I'm going to go to, going to paste frames. I only want to copy four. I want to copy 4 frames. Copy frames. Here. There we go. I'm gonna try that and see how that looks, because that's the kind of like that's the squiggle vision I've seen. It's like the you don't draw every single frame. If you have something relatively holding in place, you draw like 3 or 4 frames and you repeat those frames or mash those frames together. No, I don't like it. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. Looks too artificial. It was worth a try. It was worth a shot. I was hoping. I was like, maybe that'll solve the problem. But I think it makes it look jittery. It's all jittery now. Yeah, that doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. Uh-oh, he's back. Monster is back. I have him. Sucking out his brains. If you have a cat and you don't suck your cat's brains out, you don't love your cat. All I do is I do a kissy face and then I just kiss his head and just slurp the brains right out. Right through the skull. He loves it. He doesn't need them. Weren't using them anyways. Okay. Yeah. Not a fan of that. What? The fuck? Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to probably redraw these frames. What? Every time. Every time I try to find a shortcut like that. Not every time. There's been a couple times where I found a shortcut where I went, oh, it actually worked. Most of the time, it feels like I try to find a shortcut like that. I'm just like, it doesn't work. It doesn't look good. It looks better if I have to draw it. I don't know why. I want to find a shortcut for it. Not how fingers. That, that, then I do. Perfect. Home button again. There we go. There we go. That was a dangerous game that I played. I I almost got mauled by my cat. I can't help it. Teasing my cat, that's like half the fun of having a cat. Riling up a cat is like half of the fun. Me too. Oh my god. I'll probably do. Yeah, it's only. Wait, what? Oh yeah, no. I was like, oh, I'll probably do one or two more frames. I'm like, oh no, still got plenty of time. For some reason, I thought it was later. I'm not getting tired. Ready. It's only 9 o'clock. I mean, I got some good work done either way. That's what matters. Oopsie. 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 I do think this will be a good. This will be better overall for a couple reasons. I think one of the main reasons it will be better is being able to have this much more time to be able to draw will keep on making sure that I'm like being that I'm still drawing, which I've been doing more drawing than I have been for pretty much any portion of my life recently, which is very, very good. That is a very good thing. Oops. Oops. Being able to keep up with creative endeavors is something I think I've always struggled with a little bit. So the fact that I've very consistently been better about finishing things is a very, very good thing. That's like an incredibly good thing. I think that's one of the hardest things when you're trying to make anything is getting to a place where you're consistently finishing the things you started. Because I think finishing what you started is the biggest roadblock for anyone, for anything, right? It's really hard to finish things. It's really, really hard to finish things. It's easy to start things. It's hard to end. Arguably, starting anything is the easiest part. That is the easiest part of everything. Continuing and finishing is the much more difficult part of anything, of starting anything, any endeavor. And to that I say, don't give up, no matter what. There we go. I think I wanted to actually. I think I wanted to adjust this just a little. Start moving it towards its new location. I'm glad he's comfortable. Are you gonna xenomorph me? You gonna chest burster me? I'm playing with fire. I have a couple of shirts that are missing buttons, and every now and then I will, when my cat is in my lap, I will put my shirt over his head. And there's a couple shirts where the button is like low enough that he'll stick his head back out of it like he's a chest burster. Or a little creature. Know that? I do need to. I watched the first the first part. I'm gonna say because it's an OVA that's made of three OVAs. It's an OVA anthology called Memories, and the reason why I know about it is because it is loosely tied to Mr. Satoshi Kon. I watched the first one; it was quite good. I will be watching the rest. I need to find a couple more things that, or I'm just going to be rewatching. I'm going to be rewatching Alien a lot, which I might. We did that. Just might be a thing. Is I just rewatch Alien a lot. I was actually rewatching some of the Signal stream that I did, which helped a bit. I might rewatch a bit of the Alien Isolation stream. Might go back and rewatch some ancient fucking GTFO stuff I did, because GTFO does some good stuff. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. I forgot. Oh. GTFO is one of those games that I would love to at least like revisit one last time to be like, man, I really liked this game and I want to know what it actually looks like finished. Because technically, we never played the quote unquote finished product. I don't know if they've had any additional changes or upkeep, or if they've since just kind of stagnated into into a gameplay style or what. But I did really enjoy that game. I really did. I do think it got a little bit too grindy and a little bit too cheesy sometimes, of like being a little bit too punishing on if you made a mistake or not. I think that whilst that was the way the game is meant to be played, which fair enough, the thing I like about the idea of that is it's still overall like a group survival horror experience where it's like, well, you gotta do your best to survive. And while survival can mean um, doing everything right, I think the best survival horror really gets you to feel like you're always kind of the opposite of that. You don't have to play perfectly to be good at survival horror, you just have to survive. That's what I like about survival horror. That's what I like when a survival situation gets you into that mindset where you you don't feel like you bested the odds so much as you just outlasted them. And I really like GTFO presentation wise. But where we left off with it, it really kind of failed to do that after a certain point because it became very routine. You had to be very routine on how you handled a scenario or a situation, even though they still tried to add things to like mix it up and change it up from round to round. It was very structured, and I think that's the issue. Not because survival horror can't be structured. No, not at all. Survival horror could be very structured, actually. I think the problem was just that GTFO really hinged on did you not waste too much? Did you not make too many mistakes? It's easy to get yourself feeling like you're in a situation that in GTFO, from my experience, was that you used way too many resources, and that whilst theoretically, if you like really hunkered down, you probably could live, it was not likely. Like it felt pretty much like you were done. You either you did very well or you did very poorly, which is kind of why I like Helldivers a little bit better. But I do wish that kind of game could be translated to survival horror because I think it would be very fun. I mean, Aliens is a very good movie and it is incredibly influential on a lot of pieces of media, including GTFO. A lot of game media, that is. Um, so it's a little bit like disappointing to see something get so close and still be like, well, it got close, but it didn't quite get there just because it didn't quite get there. Because a lot of GTFO played more like a kind of survival action puzzle box than it played like a survival horror. Um, at least to me. I think one of the things that would have helped it for me a lot for GTFO would have been able to be able to have more instances in which you feel like the game is much more reactionary and that you have like time to like set up and stuff. Because usually, oftentimes, if you are not prepared for a horde, the horde comes faster than you can prepare, at least in my opinion. Um, I think a horde mechanic like that only works if you pace it in such a way that people can respond to it reactively. Because the whole thing is like, oh hey, there's a horde. There's also like only so many ways you can deal with a horde, anyways. Which I also was like mixed about. There's also only a couple. There's like very binary states in which the game operates, and the irony is that kind of game works better the less binary it feels. The less off and on it feels, which isn't easy to do. Um, it's interesting to think about how Helldivers somehow manages to dodge that bullet. I think one of the big things that Helldivers does to keep from feeling super binary like that is that the whole horde mechanic really hinges around your it hinges around something that dictates that you can find yourself in an encounter that can be resolved before the horde thickens. And the horde thickening is a very natural cascading effect. Like, if you aren't handling the things, the cues that cause a horde to spawn consistently, then you do end up in situations where the horde just keeps kind of naturally growing bigger and bigger. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really, really good thing. And I do think that uh, that is the best way to make a horde feel in a horde shooter like that. To really feel like the horde has teeth without making the horde just feel like, oh, it's a horde that we have to deal with now, or oh, the horde is not significant. Um, the irony is things like Left 4 Dead really kind of muddled the waters with that a little bit because Left 4 Dead really tried to do it did try to do something interesting with hordes, and I do think it is a good game for it. It's just really difficult to design that for that, I think, because a lot of it is not just hordes for the sake of hordes. If I understand correctly, the AI hordes were not random. They were specifically orchestrated responses to the performance of the players, both for how well they are doing and for like how what they are doing. And it was an attempt to try to make a system that could organically interact with the players to put them in scenarios. That's what the horde system in Left 4 Dead tried to do, and that's what but do it like naturally and unpredictably. Uh, which is also what Helldivers does. But Helldivers does it from it does do it from a very mechanical standpoint, but in a way that's implemented in such a way that that mechanical feeling to it does not come through as heavily. GTFOs is just a little bit too binary. It's a little bit too. It's not even the predictability. It is a consequence of things that you do, and there's no as far as I could remember, there was nothing about the engagement and counter design that ever lent it to anything but a consequence to something that you did, whether it was something you had to deal with or not. Um, there were only really a very set number of kinds of encounters that happened in that game. So really, for me, it just needed more variety in the kinds of encounters you could have. That's why I feel like it really needed something very Helldiver-esque where it had like roaming enemies of like roaming groups of enemies or something. Like something to apply a different kind of pressure. That game also got really slow paced sometimes. Like you just spent a lot of time just like kind of crawling in that game. Um and then if like you mess up an encounter, then you have to do it all over again. And arguably you should take like the knowledge you got through that first crawl into the second crawl, but oftentimes I don't feel like GTFO sped up that much from a second attempt is the problem because you still feel encouraged to crawl through it. Which is why I think Alien probably does it the best on playing that game more and understanding a little bit more about Alien Isolation. You should not crawl through Alien Isolation. You should walk every now and then. In fact, I would argue the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues I have with Alien Isolation is that sprinting is still too dangerous. I wish that game would encourage you to sprint more, like to feel like you should actually make a run for it. Otherwise, really, it just does feel like if you run in Alien Isolation, it's just asking to get yourself killed. There we go. Especially because also GTFO, a lot of it. One of the things that I think makes some survival horror work really, really, really well is also you need to have a sense of agency. The players have to have a sense of agency that they decide when to engage to a certain extent. Um, like they can choose to run or avoid or save their resources if they really want to, and that they don't have to fight if they don't think it is a good idea to fight. I think it's an important thing, and it should be a thing, even in a multiplayer setting like that. I think there needed to be a little bit better incentive to not fight in that game. Because really, for me and my friends, what we immediately started developing was very methodically clearing out every room. Really, probably shouldn't have been doing that. The way that the enemies and the encounter design was set up, you felt encouraged to go about and like try to clear out a room as methodically as possible so that way it'd be safe to pass through. That is how that game handled its encounter design. I think if they would have had like instead of the sleepers, they would have had like a couple of different enemy types that were just like roaming enemy types that were the more traditional um like Resident Evil zombies, and then had different, more diversity in enemy type that was like, okay, so you have some enemies that might like roam around and whatnot, and like are there just to be like in Hunt. Also, Hunt does this very well, in which the PVE design is there to be not a challenge, but something to cause a problem, right? It's there to cause a problem. There would be more enemy types like that that were there to discourage you from fighting or from killing everything in the room. They had the they had the tentacle guys. I think that was a good start. They needed more stuff like that though. They needed more stuff that really discouraged you from methodically clearing out entire rooms. I think that would have helped a lot too. Otherwise, that's what people are going to do. They're going to methodically go through every room. Um, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Personally. All right, I know what I need to do now. Start moving. The popper. Oops. I did need to do it. That. Holding that down. Almost done. Almost done. Yeah, I just might not have the energy to go that far, but hey, getting 3 hours is still 3 hours. That's what matters to me. I am trying to be better about stuff like that. I'm not trying to run myself too ragged. Promise. Back. Make up your mind, kid. You need to make up your mind. You're out. Come on. No. Almost. I need to remember. I also need to look up something from Darkwood, believe it or not. I will be referencing a lot of stuff. And it should work out. It should work out, though. There's also something else I want to do where I some ideas. I'm gonna be making a lot of stuff for this project no matter what. I can't make everything. I will admit that. I'm not gonna be able to make everything, but I'm gonna be making a lot more than even just the drawings, I think. Like I've already started to do a decent amount of writing for it. That goes without saying, but there's some other things that I'm thinking of that I'm like, I should try that. But if I do that, I have to be prepared. I have to be prepared for certain other things. What those things are, you'll just have to wait and see. Nice. Lazy tween, just draw the line between. Lazy tween, draw the lines between. Ooh, bless me. There we go. Oops, wrong button. What are you looking at? You're so feisty tonight. He keeps on looking up at me. I'm just like, you being a spicy boy. What are you getting all huffy about? What are you huffing about? Huff at me. Do something like just want to keep on just pushing that down a little bit more. And I do like that I'm picking up on that point of that pivot of motion, that like how it like cascades out, right? Like if you move something that moves at the base moves less distance than something at the tip. Um what do you mean spicy for? What do you mean spicy for? Got some frighteningly big eyes, my boy. Your eyes are full of violence. Oh, I know what it is. Oh, I know what's wrong. I didn't wear my fucking glove. Ah, shit. Too late now. We're practically near the end. Does help. It is bizarre, but it does help. Fancy drawing hand glove. Only covers my pinky and my ring finger. Yeah. Boy, apparently I might need to equip it even here at the end because I'm just like, just make the line. Just make the line. Fine. It won't make the line. There we go. Oh god, I flipped it on me. Oh, that's what I did. I was about to be like, what did I just do? Nothing bad. Actually, nothing bad. Yeah, it's almost 10. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. That's all I got the energy for. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Sometimes that's all I've got the gas for. Ain't got no gas left. Even I have my limits drawing over and over and over again. I have my limits. But hey, made some good progress. We're getting closer. We've got all of the keyframes I need to the end of the end of this animation. So I got everything I need to finish it. I just need to finish it. We're getting there. And I think that for me is kind of like one of the more impressive things that I've done here is that I've managed to actually like make a full piece. Like I've done this all the way through. I have. I just had to finish it. It has an endpoint. That endpoint is probably going to swiftly start moving away from me again, but uh there is an endpoint. I did find one. It does exist. I'm just gonna this fast. For some reason that wasn't one to drag. I don't know why. God damn it. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. That just looks cool. But hey, almost 20 seconds. This animation, almost a whole 20 seconds. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And again, I could see it going both ways. It could do down to fours or something, or cutting it down to like just sections and then going down to twos that way. That is something I could do. Like, there's a lot of different ways to do animation, but ultimately the goal is did you make something move from point A to point B? That's animation. You did, you've done animation. No, I've really enjoyed working on this. I'm definitely going to I need to go back through and like add a couple blinks. I need to add a couple blinks, but Otherwise, this is looking pretty close to finished. I really do like that very unenthused look at the end. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. All right, I'm going to start wrapping it up. Before we do, I'm going to put all my shit back on my computer desk. Hopefully not break anything. I do have a cat I'm balancing in my lap at the same time. I'm going to put everything back. We're going to make a prompt together. And then I'm going to have to draw that prompt. I'm going to do it with a mouse because anytime I draw, I do it with a mouse instead. Then I'll share it before we rate out. If you want to participate in chat, all you got to do is type in chat. Whatever chat says, I'll use as a reference. And then I'll draw the picture and then share it before we rate out. So if you want to participate, all you got to do is type in chat. And I said that already. Done. Apparently I'm done. Done for the night. My brain is done. My brain is truly donezo. Right, I put everything back. Now give me 1 second. This is also probably better too, because now I can actually, if people want to see stuff, I can send them to stuff. As far as like what I was working on. Ending bit. Making a pouty face before popping off. Alright, if you want to add to that, I'll give you guys a second. I need to pull up my stuff. And I'll make that if nobody says anything. Alright, making a pouty face before popping off. I don't know why this is where my brain went with this, but you guys have to live with it now. This isn't my problem anymore. This is your problem. This is your guys' problem. This isn't my problem anymore. Boy, you could really tell when I use my mouse for these. You sure can tell when I have to use my mouse for these. I think that's what makes them better. Alright. Well, stick around to the very end, everybody, to see that picture. I also do a bit of a closing bit. We do raid after every stream, so that way the vampires in our chat can keep watching. So everybody else out there, make sure to go lock your doors and windows. It's almost lunchtime for vampires. Thank you for joining, everybody. Hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking the time to going back and rewatching the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this and you want to see more of what we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following or clicking any of the links. There's a link to an Instagram. There's a link to all the socials and the Discord. We post when we go live on any one of those platforms, as well as anything else that we're up to. And just generally come hang out with the rest of the community on there. It's a good time on the Discord. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community out there and everyone who follows. You guys are a wonderful audience and we appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Just make sure also hashtag one MCCanary or link it back to the stream so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And if you want to see the stream grow, you gotta let people know. I appreciate that people have been talking about the stream, and I encourage you guys to do it more. It does help us out. And it's just super rad that you guys have been willing to do that. So go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. I can't. And as always, a huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon, Coffee, and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream as well as take on more projects, and the stream would not be made possible without viewers like you. So we thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list as well as a couple of the benefits you get, you could always subscribe on Twitch or check out the Patreon page here to show you everything that you can get, and any amount is always appreciated. Once again, thank you. Thank you, Drew Mods, for doing a wonderful job of holding back the broad army to prevent becoming famous. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you had a good time. You enjoyed the show. Gonna get you through housekeeping and get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends in Goblin Entertainment. That link tree has links to everyone's channels and everything that they've been up to, and the rest of my stuff here, which has everything that I post to. So go check everybody out in Goblin Entertainment. Stick around. Oh wait, we did go to. Fuck it. Let's go say hi to Amoeba again. Let's go show her the animation. I know she would like to see that. So let's go show Misa the animation project. She's playing Peak with friends. Maybe we'll ever play Peak. We'll see. I might. I don't know. The more I've seen of it, the more I go, yeah, I probably would enjoy that. I do like rock climbing. So stick around for that. Otherwise, have a good evening. Take it easy. Remember, sometimes you just gotta say stuff. Sometimes you just gotta say stuff. That's okay. That's all right. I don't know, man. I like Oshi's work. He does a good job. I've already forgotten. Moya? I'm so bad. Pat Labor 2 guy. Pat Labor 2's a good movie.